The Marcia Weekes Show. It's the Marcia Weekes Show. From Barbados to Africa, voices unite. Educate minds, elevate sight. It's the Marcia Weekes Show. It's the Marcia Weekes Show. From Barbados to Africa, voices unite. Educate minds, elevate sight. It's the Marcia Weekes Show. Talk truth, build roots, stories unfold. Motivate change, mobilizes the mode. That's the MR code. Hey! We growing, we knowing.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening, boys and girls. You are watching the Marcia Weekes Show, and we are coming to you live from Barbados. And I forgot to pick up my flag, but it's live TV, so I'm just going to reach over and I'm going to grab my flag because, you know, I really believe in having my flag. Yes. So I'm holding in my hand the national flag of Barbados. And you just heard the national anthem of Barbados. And this year we are celebrating 60 years of independence. 60 years. Oh my goodness. What are you doing for the 60th? How are you going to celebrate Barbados' independence as a nation? How are you going to do it this year? Yes, well, tonight we have a special show because we are going to be doing a little review of Crop Over. I know we've been having so much fun with the circus shows. Remember that? Sunday and Monday, but we're taking a break because, you know, we've had independence. I mean, we've had Crop Over. What am I saying? We've had Crop Over, and you know, time is flying, and we don't want this Crop Over to be to end. And we haven't talked about it or interviewed some of the persons involved. who were involved in the festival, and to hear their thoughts and their process and how they prepared, etc. So tonight, I am so excited, and I know you're going to stay with me. I'm going to ask you to like and share. I have with me here tonight the announcer. The announcer is going to be here. And listen, we're going to have a segment where you can call in and talk to the announcer. All right. So that's towards the end of the show. And then we also have, not then, we also have Khalijah Kellman. That's how I know her from a little girl. But her stage name, guys, is Khaleesi. And oh my goodness, she is the Junior Soca Monarch. She's been at this thing for so long. As a little girl, I remember her, and I'm so excited for her and proud of her. And we also have with us, that's her there. You're going to meet her and then later. And we also have Senator John King. I had the opportunity of interviewing him on a mic on the move. I was at the Carter's Shining Star tent, and where he sang How Many More. It was very, very, very powerful, very touching. People in the audience said they actually cried as he was singing. And he and I had a wonderful conversation at the end of the performance, and we're going to bring that to you tonight. So it's a mic on the move with Senator John King, and we also have tonight one member. Well, she's a new member of the WALKHOLY Band, and she is going to be giving you her experience, being in the WALKHOLY Band. So we have quite a very interesting show tonight for you, and I know you're going to really, really enjoy. The announcer is coming up later in the program. I'm going to ask everybody, can you like and share, please, and let people know that we are on. Let me just say a big shout out. I just have a couple minutes to say a big 2 minutes to say hello to everybody. Hey, Judy. Hey, Sharon, Monica Inns. How are you doing? Jefferson. How are you doing, Jefferson? Sharon, Lucinda. Oh my goodness, prayer was great this morning as well. Matthew B, Teroni, we need another roadside parliament, Teroni. I have not seen you in so long. Marcia Miller, yes. Calendar, I'm a big girl. Mavis Lashley, Mystic Angel, Sherry Berry. Andrea Critchlow, Sherry Johnson. Listen, there is somebody, I'm not going to tell you who it is, who is normally on as a viewer, and they're going to be interviewed tonight. Oops, I wonder who that is. Marva Hunt, hello. Mavis Lashley, First Wizard. Yes. Yes, that is wonderful. So many of you are on tonight. Please like and share. Okay, wonderful. I'm told I need to send her. That's what I need to do, Dave. Yes, thank you so much. All right. Well, folks, we have Miss Khalijah Kellman, Khaleesi, and she is the winner of the Junior Soca Monarch. And I don't know, Dave, if do you have a little bit of her song that we can play before she joins us? Do we have any of that while we wait on people to like and share? Hi, Sir Alfred Benjamin. How is it in Brooklyn? How is it going? Wonderful. Tonight, we want to celebrate our young people. And this is why on Wednesdays, I need to give context to this while we get our song ready. We normally have our Elevate segment. And we have not done any filming for a little while because again of crop over and all the different things we've all been involved in. And so tonight, to in our Elevate Youth segment, we're going to be talking to Khaleesi, Khalijah Kellman. And I know we do have her music, but you know what? We're not going to miss any. We're not going to miss any more time. We're not going to waste any more time. I'm going to ask her to I'm going to let her join us at this time. But guys, please like and share. Please like and share. Thank you so very much. Well, welcome, Khalijah.
Hi.
Yes, welcome to the Marcia Weekes Show. This is your first time.
Yes, please, it is.
It is okay. Don't worry. You don't nothing. Tell mommy nothing controversial. No politics. We're just talking about crop over. Okay, so this is Khalijah here, and let's listen to her a little bit. If you don't want to party, you better get out the street. Cause we coming like a steamroller. Let's finish the place. It has been a whole year. We ready for this. No, the time is here. Party we can't resist. So take out your ride, show me a fly. Now I hope that you're ready. Cause it's time to come. Hands up in the air. Like waving everywhere. Leave out the night and this night is we wrap up. Cause it's rain fall up on the sun. Jumping behind a truck. See how we walking up. Take a drive, show me a light. Cause there's action all on the road. We are in Baltimore. When we laugh and for morning and we on the street, you know it's bacchanal. When you see me, music on the trumpet, people behind them jumping, pretty costume and buckle up. Crop over is we festival. We welcome back to Hubla Park. Soca music, back to back. I love my crop over cause they arms up in the air, like waving everywhere. Leave out the night and this time is we weapon, cause it's rain fall up on the sun. Jumping behind a truck. See how we walking up. Take a drive, baby. Show me a flight. Cause it's action all on the road. When I'm ready, hey. Well, I tell you, I was at the finals, Khalijah, and I saw this young lady up there, and I'm thinking, this shy little girl that I knew from how old you were when we met?
3 years old.
3 years old. 3 years old, Khalijah. And I saw you up there, and I'm like, my goodness, how you have grown up into this big woman. Well, I don't think your mother going to agree with that. But, Khalijah, how old are you now?
17.
You're 17. You're 17 now. And you've been, how long have you been in the Junior Monarch Festival?
4 years. This year is my 4th year in Junior Monarch.
You've been in Junior Monarch for 4 years. And
Yes.
Tell me about that journey. Why did you start singing calypso?
Well, the first time I start, I was with my mentor, right? She was promoting Junior Monarch and stuff. I was like, okay. Then she asked, do anybody want to do Junior Monarch? She said, all right, come back tomorrow, let me know. I went home and said, Mommy, I really want to do Junior Monarch. I really, 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 really want to do Junior Monarch. She was like, oh, I can think about it. I said, Mommy, please. Okay, tell the teacher that you will do Junior Monarch. So, okay, I excited, I happy. So we did that. I told her I got a song. I did it. The first year I came to the finals as a reserve. The
Right,
second
I remember that. I remember that when you were a reserve. What was the name of this song? Was a song about bullying?
yes, I am the
You
bully.
see? I am the bully. We've been following, and we've been attending. I didn't come this year, but Dave came. I wasn't there this year, but anyway. So I am the bully. I remember that, and we did Praise Academy. Did your I think we did. Did we do the
Presentation.
acting, the
Yeah.
presentation for you? Yes. Go ahead.
So then I was a little discouraged because that's my first time. I was like, My mother was like, you see this, why don't want you in competitions? I don't know if I want you to do this again. I was like, Mommy, let me do it. Let me show the people what they're missing. She was
Wow.
like,
So
oh,
you were 13. You were 13 then.
yeah. No, I was 14.
14. Okay, got you.
I was like, Mommy, let me show the people what they're missing. She was like, you think about it. Few days later, she come back. All right, you could do it. So this time we found the songwriter.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, we was talking about the song. I got the song, was feeling the song, and I went to the finals this time. So I was happy. I was like, oh my gosh, I got to the finals finally. So then when I got to the finals, I placed sixth in the finals.
Mhm. Six out
So
of so the top 10, and you were six
out of eight,
out of eight. And what was the name of that one?
girl unseen,
Girl, what?
unseen.
Girl on scene. Okay, yes, that was a serious issue.
Yes, please.
Tell us what the issue was.
Basically, first of all, the girls running away,
Yes.
the girls not being heard and stuff. I having issues also with the parents, probably the friend groups they have and stuff. So I wanted to bring awareness to that song by singing and bring awareness in the song, in my message, in my
Yes.
delivery.
Yes. Yes.
Yes,
Yes. And the first one was about bullying,
yes,
and you were placed six out of eight, top
yes,
eight, and you were six. But I mean, you went through. You would have gone through preliminaries, semifinals, and finals. So that's amazing, amazing on your second. Even the first year, you did well because you would have had to go through, all of that, the stages, and to be a reserve on your first try.
yep.
That's great. That's great. So tell me about the third year. So you felt encouraged now, right?
Yes, I did. But before I did the girl on scene, I was like, Mommy, can I do soca? I really want to do soca. I think it's my thing. She was like, try Calypso one more time. I did it one more time. I came six. So I said, Mommy, can I finally do
So
soca?
what was the name of the song you did the third time?
The part, we on a mission.
Be
Yeah,
on
we
a
on.
mission. And what was
Yeah.
that one about?
Basically, we was trying to find a soca song that bring awareness to like these soldiers and stuff. And also, we on a mission. We have something in mind. We have a goal in mind that we're trying to chase. So that's what was
Okay.
bringing
That
awareness.
was what it was about. Okay. Uh-huh.
So I was like, Mommy, can I please do it? She was like, She finally said, all right, you could try this one. So, okay. I got the song. I in love with the song. I said, this is my thing. My thing is soca. I did it. Since this is the first time you doing soca, I was like, all right, a little nervous. It's a lot of energy, but I like it. I like it.
Mm-hmm.
So when I got into the finals, my first time in soca, I said, what? I was happy. So we did a lot of work trying to get me energized without being out of breath on stage and stuff. So this time I came fourth. I was like, okay, soca is
That's
my
We on a
thing.
mission. So you would have done two social commentary, and you did a soca.
Yes, please. And now this year I did Paris mode. Basically, we enjoy our culture without the violence and lawlessness. So we're trying to
Yes.
showcase how we can enjoy ourselves without being, oh my gosh, should I go? I got all these crimes. I don't want to go, but I want to see this show. So that's what we was trying to bring awareness to. And
In that.
yeah, this time I came first. So That was amazing. I felt proud.
So,
All the hard work paid off.
Khalijah, did you know when you were on when you liked this song when you got this song, right?
Yes, I loved it. Not liked it. I
You
loved it.
loved it. You
Yes,
loved it. And then when you were on stage, right?
yes, please.
When you got to semifinals, did you believe you were going to get into finals?
I did. I was very confident this year. I was like, this is my
Why?
goal,
What,
and I'm
what
going to.
about your performance? Because you might like a song, but what about the actual performance that made you feel like you're gonna get in?
Because I was practicing. So because I was practicing and I feeling more with this song, this feel like this is Khaleesi. And every evening I go in my bedroom, put on my headphones, zone into the song, practice my dance move what I want to do on stage, call my friends say, this person, Renisha, because that's one of my friends. Renisha, this move look good. I look like I doing it right. She said, yes, girl. That's my height buddy. I said, yes,
Yeah.
girl. Like, yeah, I doing it right. I doing something right. So that's how I knew, and that's how I got the confidence to enter the finals and go through in the finals.
Right. So you felt at semifinals that you were going on to finals. So tell me about how did you prepare for finals? Walk us through that because you are, I mean, all these people are coming, thousands of people. You're 17 years old, although you would have been on in the finals three times before. But walk us through that. Are you nervous?
I was nervous, but I was excited to go in the finals. So leading up to the finals, I engaged in vocal training and physical conditioning with my mentors, Miss Chase and Russell. I also
This is
had
Stephanie Chase. Stephanie
yes,
Chase.
Chase, yes, please.
Excellent. And what's the name of the other person?
Russell, Russell Oliver,
Russell. Russell Oliver and
yes,
Stephanie Chase, take
yes,
a bow wherever you are. Take a bow. It's always great when we invest in our young people. Continue, please.
right. So after we did vocal training and physical conditioning, I went home and reflected on their feedback, practice, practice, and practice, and practice, and practice. So then I also was a member of the All Stars Calypso team. So that also helped me with my stage presence and engaging with the crowd. So I got that experience and I learned from that experience. So being on the All Star stage, my confidence grew, my stage presence grew, and that's how I was able to deliver on stage at finals.
Wow. Wow. So you stepped on feeling confident.
Yes, please.
So is this your what is this your first year in an actual adult tent?
Yes, please, it is.
Oh my gosh. So because I realize a lot of the tents they have the juniors now part of their, the lineup. And you were how was that for you? How did you feel like with all these big names and all of that?
Well, at first I was a little nervous. I was like, oh my gosh, okay. But then I realized the crowd is a little stubborn. So when I realized that I getting them to
Stubborn?
move,
Wait, this crowd was a little stubborn. Explain to me. What do you mean?
like some people don't like to. Like it's the first time hearing the song, so they're not gonna be able to move, because they're not hearing it. But once I continue singing the song the first night and they start to move, I was like, I actually doing this. If I could get the big people crowd to move, I could definitely get Junior Monarch crowd to move. So I was like, okay, yeah.
Ah, okay, okay, okay. Well, as I watched you on stage, as I said, I'm just thinking of little Khalijah,
Hmm.
and you're coming to classes, and I always tease you with a little handbag, and walking, coming to classes, and so on, and we would have engaged you in acting. You did some acting with us, etc. And but then to see you on stage and to see how you're owning the stage, as you said, you found your niche. This is it. This is you. And I really, when I saw you, I was like, wow, is that really Khalijah? And just what I loved about it was your freedom. You had a lot of freedom on stage, and that is really wonderful. Now, talk to me about being part of Junior Monarch, and what are some of the rules for, because you're still young people, underage, some of you in Junior Monarch. Do you have any rules guiding the competition on your dress and what you do on stage and so on? Do they have any rules for that?
Yes, please, they do.
Tell me
So,
about that.
well, as you said, we are children, so we have to dress appropriate, but still we have to dress based on the songs that we have, so we could deliver the message better. So when you going to look for outfits and stuff, like because my song is a party song, so when I go in, I look for outfits for the stage. I have to be mindful that I am still a child, so I have to wear something appropriate for the stage.
Mhm.
So yeah.
Yes, I recognize that, and I wanted to publicly say that. I think that what they're doing at the Junior Monarch is very, very important to let them remain as children. I saw this performance, which was very, very good, Khalijah. And what I liked about it, one of the other things, apart from the energy, is the fact that I love the way you presented yourself. It's very ladylike. You're properly covered. You look wonderful. You look the part. You look good. The color was great on you, but you didn't have anything hanging out. You were properly dressed. And you know that matters to me, right?
Yes, please.
Well, I always talk to you guys about that, and I wanted to publicly say that to you and to your mom and all of those, your mentors, Stephanie Chase, and all of the people around you, and to Junior Monarch, that they have that as part of the rules, that you dress as children, right? Very, very important. But how difficult was that for you in trying to find an outfit?
Well, it wasn't really difficult because from the time we got the song, we got ideas for the performance, clothes, what we want for the performance, what we want for the props, and all of that. So it was just how we can execute it, who can make it, and how we can get this done. Because we already had it in mind. As I told you, I love the song. So when I
Mhm.
zoned in and I was like, okay, we could do this. I could wear this, talk through it with Miss Chase, Russell. They agreed. So that's how we find the outfits for our junior monarch.
For Junior Monarch. And I know this is a Khalijah, I know you are full of ideas. You are full of ideas. Sometimes I have to tell Khalijah you're not the director, right? Miss Chase has to tell you that sometimes.
She
Okay,
does.
Khalijah.
She
She does?
does.
Yes. But because I know you have that in you in your future to be a director, producer. So I try to engage, as I always say, come to the side and tell me. But Khalijah is a very creative young lady and full of ideas all the time. and,
Yeah.
and, and, and that is very, very, very wonderful. Now, so tell me, what has it been like since you have won the competition?
Well, since I won, I first of all, when I won, I was shocked. I was happy, excited for the new journey because also it's also a new journey because it's my first time winning.
Yes.
All the hard work and stuff, my mentors, that was amazing. I was like finally paid off. So
Yes.
after winning, it just been going to performances. Well, as everybody has seen, have a lot of performances. Also, just sitting down. First thing I did was thank God because without Him, I wouldn't be where I am today, and I'm very happy for that.
Yes. 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 So you get the opportunity to perform on different stages.
Yes, please.
Yes. Yes. So what's your future? I mean, um, what a lot of people don't know is that you brought up in a Christian environment. right? And I believe at some point you would have made a commitment to Christ at some point.
Mhm.
Now it's one thing as a Christian in pick of the crop, not pick of the crop, the social commentary. How are
Yeah.
you going I mean, you're soon 18 and out of Junior Monarch, right?
Yep. In that year
So
was my last year.
your last year. So
Yes,
how
please.
are you you're going to keep going in the vein of party, and how do you reconcile that with your Christian faith?
Well, the first thing is keeping God. So before I go on stage, I'll pray, ask God to guide me on stage. Second thing is the outtakes. I ain't wearing nothing all the way to my butt, and no, we can just look very classy, but still look appropriate for the song that I'm singing,
Yes,
because it's kind of hard, with everything that's going out there,
it's
and people
hard, eh?
doing, yep,
Tell me
it,
about that. So do you sometimes feel do you or because you're just starting the journey, how are you going to deal with the pressure where you're in a competition and others are exposing themselves, the bottom dropping out and the breast pouring over? How you will and you want to win, Miss Khaleesi. What are you going to do?
first of all, I get money. Oh, I get paid the money, see it and don't see it. That's what you can
Mm.
do. Then the next thing, as I said, is zoning. So when I zoning, anything that pass, I don't be studying. So it would be really hard to focus in that aspect because I used to be zoning.
Mhm, mhm, mhm. Yeah, because I remember when Apache, Apache?
Mm-mm.
You don't know Apache? Well, you should meet him. Was the first Christian artist who went into Party Monarch. This is the big people one now. When it was held at uh, in Saint, where is that, Dave? The first place that they had with the hills. You know where I'm talking? Khalijah, where they had Party Monarch. I can see it right now, but just the name is gone from me. But that was the original space. I know that somebody who's listening, but the East Coast, one of my favorite places in the world, the East Coast. And he was the first Christian artist, and that was a huge problem. That was a huge controversy. Khalijah, and so it is a very, very thrilling to see a Christian artist in doing party, and the people have accepted you. And there was even a young man, and I always have a problem with his name, but he did a song where he was praying. You remember him?
I think I know who.
Yeah. Where status,
Yeah,
little
little
status.
yeah.
Little status. And I when I saw him on stage, I said, this is really a child of what our of the movement that we've been part of. We've been part of a movement since over 24 years to get more Christians involved, in crop over various aspects of it, etc. And so it's to see that you are a Christian young woman who's won the Junior Soca Monarch. I think it's great. And as you said, it's not going to be easy. It's not going to be easy. What's your mom saying now? What's your mom saying?
She's happy. She keep on telling me to be humble, don't get distracted. So I also keep the God, keep listening every day, every
I
day, every day,
know.
every day.
I,
Yeah.
I, if I know her well, she's going to make sure that you stay grounded in God,
Yes.
because you don't want to lose your way at all. You don't want to lose your way. You have a great voice and it's given to you by God,
Yes.
and what I really love, Khalijah, was your freedom on stage. You were so free. And we've been all been working with you on that. So it was wonderful to see that.
Thank
And kudos to Stephanie Chase and Russell Oliver. As I said, it's always great to see, young people doing what they love and doing it, as you said, classy, right?
you.
Classy, right? I mean, you had to do a little dance there, but it wasn't anything that was ridiculous, you
Mm-hmm.
know? And I know what I could see it, Khalijah. And I said to myself, I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
I stood there feeling proud of you. And keep your faith as, center, and keep going on, and up. What about the content of what you're going to sing? How are you going to do you write your own songs?
No, please, I don't. I want to start, but at the moment, I'm not.
Right, well, you could try it, because that would help you as well in keeping your faith, right?
Yes, please.
um in the midst of it, because it's not easy when you have the well, as you move out of Junior Monarch, then it's going to be more open, right? Don't you think?
Yeah,
And so you're going to have writers going to come to you with stuff. So you should try your hand. Have you ever tried writing?
I haven't.
You haven't?
No.
You should try. You should try.
Yeah, I would need to try. I would need to try.
Yes. Keep trying. So you're waiting for you're getting ready to go into sixth form now. Tell me about school.
Well, right now, I had an interview for BCC, so I'm waiting to see if I got through or not. I also applied back to Greater City for Upper Fifth, so I have to see what they're saying about that also.
What's going to work out,
Yeah.
and what is it you want to study?
Well, at BCC, it's culinary arts or theater.
Ah, I know it would have to be some theater. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Yes, yes. Our culinary arts. So I didn't know you could cook, girl. You can cook?
I, I could cook, but I mainly focus on the baking.
On the baking? Oh,
Yeah.
wow. Well, whenever you come to praise, you better bake something for me.
Right now, everybody' favorite is the cheesecake and the
What?
flatbread.
And the who?
Flatbread.
Flatbread.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow. I hear Uncle Dave say, oh, yeah. I hear him in the back say, oh, yes. Oh, yes. Well, that was that was awesome. That's awesome. That sounds good. That sounds really, really good. So either culinary arts or theater,
Yes.
you might study. You're now waiting on your CXC result.
Yes, I am.
Oh Lordy, whoo! Nail biting. You're scared about that?
Yeah, a little nervous. A little nervous.
Nervous. Well, I mean, you did theater arts last year, and you got a distinction, didn't you?
Yeah, I got a grade one. I got a grade
A grade one. Girl, listen, this is not when you see young people sometimes don't listen. My mother used to say, don't wash your mouth on people, children, right? Because you don't know this girl. This girl is one power packed individual, right?
one. Thank
She
you.
is anointed not just in singing, because she also sing ballads, right?
Yes,
And
please.
she does worship, and she's very, very good. She's also doing a great job with her studies, and I'm so proud of her, of where she's come. I've gone through a lot in your life. We won't talk about everything on here, but I'm remembering a particular thing that happened years ago, and to see your family, just come back from that.
Yes.
I'm so proud of you. What anything you want to say to the audience before you go?
I just want to thank all my sponsors for supporting me, my family members, Miss Chase, Russell, my friends, Renisha, Ro, Chloe, Japan. Just want to thank everybody for being there. Thank you. And thank you for
Oh,
having me.
yes, you're most welcome. And I just want to, as she was thanking everybody, one of the things about this young lady, very, very kind, very kind. I know, remember when Uncle Dave had the band that prays and you were helping the younger singers, I really hope you'll come back and continue doing that, working with the younger ones and helping them. And I watched you, how you, the care that you took and the encouragement that you gave. You were also part of Speak Life. Thank you, Dave. I was supposed to say that earlier. What did you do in Speak Life? Tell the people.
I was acting. I was an actor and also a singer in the
And
choir.
a singer in the choir. You didn't get to go to Trinidad with us because you were doing,
Junior
um,
Monarch.
yeah, you were doing Junior Monarch. All right, wonderful, 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 great job. Well, thanks again, Khalijah. Please say a big hello to your mommy for me
Okay.
and all the little one. All right.
Yes, please. Thank you for having me.
Yes, most welcome, and I hope to see you soon. God bless.
God bless you too. Thank you.
Yes, bye bye.
Now raise your hands in the air, raise your hands in the air, raise your hands in the air, let me see it. One, get ready to go. Two, get ready to roll. One, two, one, two. It has been a whole year. We waiting for this. Now the time is here. Party we can't resist. So take it to ride. Show me a flight. Now I hope that you're ready, go. It's time to party, party. Hands up in the air. We're talking more like heaven everywhere. We're talking more like
Well, folks, tonight we're doing our cup over review. Before we continue, anybody out there, can you tell me which did you attend any events? Anybody out there attended any events? I went to a tent. I went to Carter's Shining Stars. And I'm going to show you a little bit of John King, Senator John King singing. And I also had an opportunity of interviewing him. So I went to that tent and I also went to the finals, the Pick of the Crop finals. And that was quite exhilarating. And of course, I was at Walk Holy. We call it Walk Holy. It's not Kadooment for us, it's Walk Holy. We named that day Walk Holy. We're not going to Kadooment, we're going to Walk Holy. And that was indeed a wonderful, wonderful experience. I'm not seeing any comments. And nobody watching went to any of the events? No? Shirley? I know Shirley is overseas. Oh, okay. Well, let's take in a little bit of Carter's Shining Star, where I met upon Senator John King as he did How Many More. So let's watch a little bit of his performance. Oh, this is Plantation. Yes, go right ahead, please.
Now, can I call him John King, or do I have to call him Senator John King? Right, well, you know him, and we know him affectionately as John King. Please give it up for none other than John King. Good night, ladies and gentlemen. Bring it down, bring it down. So we going back in time. As Mary said just now, imagine me over 100 pounds later, bigger glasses, and body, and singing this song. Now I know that all the folks in this audience know this song, so I'm gonna ask you to sing along. And you just come to just sing, we can get involved. Ladies and gentlemen, you ready? 1, 2, 3. What is the final object? It's the best of plantation in my name. for my destination more. To have a plantation of me, to be proud of my ancestry, to be the puppets of slavery, to watch one and cry and sweat, knowing not these sweets I can get, make me talk and have my white soul, but I walk instead of moon, in the country you can see, a statue of the democracy. Everybody say, hey, I want a I want it like they cause to exploit the whole population. Call me master, call me God. Don't want to be poor. Sing it.
You become poorer.
I don't want to hold to become out. I wanna have to work, be nobody worker. I wanna have to fall, be nobody. What's the word? I want the privilege to manage or mismanage, to help control the nation. I want a black nation. Hey!
All right, all right. That is Senator John King, and if Dave would hold it there, because I think he goes on to sing how many more, and we're gonna go back to that. Okay. So I want a plantation. How many of you were around in that time when that song was done? How many years ago was that song done? Anybody? I wasn't here when it was done. I just know about it. All right. Well, we have, before we go into the interview that I had with Senator John King, let me go to a wonderful lady who was a part of Walk Holy this year. And she's going to tell you her story. Walk Holy, so we've been telling you, it's been going now for 24 years. We're in our 24th year. And this year we were graced with the presence of this wonderful lady. And I want her to come on as soon as I think, Dave, you have something to play here? No. We're going to have her on, and she is going to she's going to basically tell you her experience from start to finish of Walk Holy. Let me welcome Cherie. Good night, Cherie.
Good night. I'm looking kind of dark again, though.
Yes, you're looking kind of dark. You're looking kind of dark. You need to turn on another light.
I put on all my lights already, so let's see what we can do. I don't want to use that one. Oh,
Yes.
gosh. Yeah, I'm using the laptop. I got my granddaughter to help me with the laptop.
Yes.
Yes, but
It's a pity if we could have gotten a light in front of you.
yeah, I think
Would
in
have
that.
helped.
Oh, dear.
Yes.
Yeah, we're going to change it later. Maybe that would help.
Yes. That's a bit better. That's a little
little? Okay.
that helps a little bit. Yes.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
so Cherie, now you had a Walk Holy experience this year.
An unplanned experience.
It was unplanned.
Yes, it wasn't planned at all. Yes.
Oh
You want
wow.
me to just tell you how that went too?
Yes, tell me from start to finish.
Yes, that was mostly your husband's doing.
How is that?
Yes, Dave brought me in. I don't know how he managed to come on my thing. We normally do certain little feeds and things, but for some reason that particular morning he said something, and I said, I'm thinking about doing Walk Holy next year. And he said, why wait till next year? Do it this year. So I said, well, I would just come up then and help in the band house and prepare this stuff. Huh? And before I know it, I was in a costume.
So you came to the band house, and the band house, everybody is at Praise
Yes,
Academy, which is in Colima Rock. So you came to the band house to help. So
just to help.
talk
Because
about
I
your
saw it on the
experience.
show tonight. I saw how y'all were up there working, and I realized I could still help. I'm on holiday now, so I know I had the extra time that I could come and help. So that was my main thing, to try, get a feel, put my feet in and see how it feels. And then next year save up and decide and do the full thing. But that wasn't to be. For some reason, everything just happened one time. So yes, so my one of my friends tell me, Sherry, that is one things off your bucket list now.
So Sherry, you would have seen Walk Holy over the years, right? Or
Yes.
heard of Walk Holy over the years.
Yep.
And what did you think about Walk Holy when you heard that people were going out there, Christians in Krapova? What did you think?
Well, I have always been a holy supporter. Okay, because
Hmm.
I of the opinion that walk holy, even if they don't call them walk holy as in Kadumant, even before when y'all didn't even just saying you walk holy, and it's still part of Kadumant. I recognize that y'all were trying to still maintain some decency to the whole
Hmm.
parade. Okay,
Yes.
well we know the festival has literally now gone, sorry, the wrong direction altogether.
Hmm.
Okay,
Hmm.
but you every year you sit back and you see it go worse and worse all the time. And I keep saying, I mean, in God, nobody don't really want to be part of it. Period. Now, it's
Hmm.
mostly people that come in and that sort of thing. Just line the streets and watch, but they don't really take part in it that way. It's always people that coming in and degrading our culture, our festival. So I said we can't keep complaining about something and then don't do anything. So I felt
Hmm.
like that this was my opportunity to take part again, because when y'all started years ago, I was very involved in the church and your fellowship and all that. And the whole thing was to pull the children away from the whole event, that they don't see. And in them days, the mini I had the backsides out and the bosoms falling over and all that. And yet, because of the music and the gyrations and thing, everybody still thought it was not something that you want the Christian young people to be part of. So everybody was pulling them out, going to retreats and this thing. But I found that even at retreats, the children were still glued on to the television, watching the things coming down the road, even at the
Hmm.
retreats. So
Even when you had the children away from it, they were
yeah,
still finding a way
I'm
to
still
watch.
on television watching it. You understand? So
Hmm.
there's obviously a lure, something, a pull. Okay?
Yes,
And the pull,
yes.
and the pull doesn't have to be nothing negative. The pull could be a positive pull, because there were the avenues at the time still for creativity, you know. And I
Hmm.
remember y'all were in the band house at one of the retreats. Y'all had your band house set up, and I absent myself from the retreat and I went and helped do paint up the banners and everything that year. And I felt, yeah, I felt like I was part of it. And yet, I mean, I still couldn't be part of it. I remember having a conversation with you, and I don't even think you remember that. And you
No.
said, yeah, you said, I mean, when you're ready, you'll know when you're ready, you know?
Yeah.
And
Yes.
I being part of a particular church, gathering, I know they weren't for that. So, and I had my children young as well. So, meaning I had to be careful what I put myself in, that, would be an example to them that way. But
Hmm.
anyhow, through the years, I watched Walk Holy, and I see that y'all still kept to what y'all believed. Yes, the costumes were never great, but you blessed the road, as you say. I heard about the little things y'all set up, the prayer stations y'all that set up through the street ministry, and then I hear about the care packages and everything. And I said, well, Sherry, if you can't be part of this thing, you can't be part of it. Period. You know.
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
I had made up my mind that since I turned this was my celebratory 68th. I said I
Wow.
don't want, yeah, I
How old
don't
are
want
you?
68 years there. I turned
68.
68 this year. I was 68 on July 28th. And
Holy
I
people.
said I was not going to
68
let,
years old. 68 years old. And she walked the entire way.
well, not quite. I didn't do all of Spring Garden. I literally was on the
Ah,
car in Spring Garden. So I thought y'all were stopping there by Brighton.
oh, okay, okay.
Don't Spring Garden. I
Because
thought
we
y'all
do
were stopping by
we
Brighton.
do we do
Yeah,
have the vehicle for you in case anybody got tired. But at
right,
68,
right, yes, and
wow,
we did
that is
have,
amazing.
yes, and I thought all of that was set up so wonderfully. Maybe we were on the road, and I mean, and I did not feel I was part of Kaduma in any way. That's the serious truth about
Really,
it.
you're saying when you were in the Walk Holy Band, you didn't feel like you were part of Kadooment. Why?
Not in the least. When we came across, like we're right here now on the judging area, which we know we're not being judged, and I could hear the people in the background saying, meaning everything about Walk Holy. I felt I felt privileged to be part of it because I hear the commentator goes, oh, they're gonna bless the road, and I say, oh, they understand what we're doing, you know and yeah, and I felt, well, this is an opportunity. I mean, and I walk and do prayer walks, but I never can stand up in the middle of the road and put my hands in the air and praise Jesus, and the body looking at you like it's a crazy person. So I felt great. I literally, to be truthful, I remember people saying the heat and all that, and I said, "What heat? I can't remember even feeling hot." Because
Yes,
the costume had that windmill thing, and for some reason that windmill is keeping me cool. But
yes.
the windmill was doing its work for sure. Yeah. So I literally it's only afterwards panning the wings for so
Isn't
long.
that
The whole arm
isn't that
come panning
amazing
for
that
the
you're,
long,
you're in that you're in that blue costume, Dave? If you find her again and we can see her, we can show them her in
Oh
the
yes.
she's in one of
Yes.
those costumes there at
Yeah, that's me.
68 years
The
old.
back one. That back one there.
Right, that's her there in the back. Right, that's
Yes,
her
yes.
right here. And at 68 years old, I am telling you, Lord, yeah, that is
Both,
wonderful. That
look,
is
listen, Marcia. Both of us there are 68 years old.
WALKHOLY 2026.
you
Ernesto is
serious?
68. Me and Ernesto was in the same class at school. I didn't even know she was part of What Holy till the night. I said, seriously? I hear them saying about this Ernesto coming. I said, I only know one Ernesto though. I mean Ernesto show up. I said, Mommy, this, you know. So we were two school buddies celebrating our age thing. I hope honestly that it brings on some of the other younger ones to do it because it was a really lovely experience. Yeah, it was a
Yes,
very good
yes.
experience. Yeah, and the music y'all had, that music that you said, Michelle was responsible for that
Yes,
song.
Michelle, yes.
Oh gosh, that song was just perfect. That was, such a praiseworthy song. You know what I mean? Oh, yeah, bless her for that. Really bless Michelle for that work in that song. It just kept me, even when I was tired and the wings were thinking, I already told what's her name, Kathy, I don't know how much longer I can keep. And I thought
Yeah.
I was, then I ended up going another couple miles before I actually took it off. Oh, mile.
Oh my gosh. Oh my God. But I saw you with your hands up in the air and you were worshiping the Lord, just
Oh yes.
praising Him, worshiping, praising God. And I said, look at her. Look at her.
Oh yes. I could do it, and the body look the crazy old woman.
Yeah,
Oh,
that is great. Now, when you came to Praise Academy, what was your impression when you walked into that our band house there at Praise Academy? What was your impression?
yeah. I must say, when I first got there, I was feeling as though the others were being a little jaded. And you know me, I'm an outgoing person. I don't
Yes.
I don't come in an environment and don't introduce myself and that sort of thing, you know. And I thought, okay, these people like they're a little quiety about new people. So every time somebody new came in, I said, I'm Sherry, you know, and your name.
Right.
I serious. So by the time the day was finished, I was one of the girls. Oh God, and it was so wonderful. And we were there, you remember, till almost midnight.
Yes, you're right, till almost midnight. And
Yeah,
then, but you saw, we were packing of the bags and so on. I don't know if Dave can find that. Oh, we're right there.
yeah.
Filling up the bags, the
You know,
groceries, and
because that is
yeah,
what I thought I would have been there doing most of the time. But ironically, again, I thought I would be helping with the care packages and a little bit with the costumes. And I helped with the costumes when I first came in. And I thought once the care packages started, I would be helping with those. And then I realized there was still so much work to be done with the wings that I couldn't abandon Kathy. So I continued to help her with the wings. And know that before the night, and she can be telling me, you gotta wear a costume. And I say, that was not the plan though. She said, we got a costume for you. So then she showed me the other section of the costume that was on the table with the headpiece. And I said, really? I hear saying, Lord, look what I'm gonna get myself into. And then now when we got there the morning, yeah, I thought I was just wearing those two outside pieces. That's Ernest today. And then the headpiece. But when we got there the morning now, I said the woman bring the wings, the same wings that we worked till all near midnight with, and put on. I said, but where is all of this? Oh, anyhow, girl, I managed it. I
yeah,
managed to enjoy it. It was so nice. I mean, and now we send the police in there. That's another thing. I felt so safe. How is that? We on the road, and I'm thinking, why is it that we got not just police but the defense force and everybody who's gonna be on the road that all of this security is there, and they
yeah.
followed walk with us. They didn't stay up there and then let us pass through. They literally walked with us all the way through that entire thing. And we
Yeah.
felt, I mean, I never felt unsafe at any time. At any time in it. I really felt like, oh, this is the Barbados that I love, and this is the Barbados that I would like it to remain. And even when you
Wow.
give out the care packages, if you see the smiles on the people's face, they know wearing their bags. But everybody was so gracious. They said, thank you. You know, the regular way
And,
how Barbadians are. And I said,
yes,
Lord, this is what we want.
in those
This is,
bags, in
this is
those
the
bags,
Barbados.
we had rice and flour, cornmeal,
I saw the
tuna.
picture, but I said they didn't know that. You know
They
me?
did know
And
macaroni.
the snacks for the kids and everything, that were in there. And I thought, golly gee. And I mean, and as I said, the faces, the scene, I said, can I bless you with something from WALKHOLY, from the WALKHOLY Band, And everyone said, yes, thank you, And I thought that was so gracious. So I hope that the Lord, opened the doors and the hearts of people. They knew exactly who we were on the road. I am sorry for those that feel uncomfortable still to be part of a festival that is so important to us. And I really hope that, meaning, there was, what you keep saying the whole time. It was this year when your theme was when we lose our fear, they lose their
Yes.
power. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
I finally lost my fear and I went forward and I have no regrets.
No
No,
regrets. And you would have you're normally on the Marcia Week show every
every
night, right?
every night without fail. And if I miss, I have to go in my bed early because I got to get so early for work. I watch the other hour at work. I say
And
good night to y'all, and I go in and try and get my sleep as best I can, and I watch the other hour at work. So I always know what y'all are up to because I don't want to be involved in nothing that I don't know what is going on in it. Okay?
yes,
Yep.
yes, yes. But it's so amazing. You said when we lose
Or
our
fair.
fear, they
Yeah.
lose their power. And you know, you even coming on tonight, you said, "Oh my goodness, I'm doing all these things that I don't normally do." You know,
You
and
understand?
yes,
Yeah, we gotta do it. When you told me, at first I said, sure, you're ready for nothing like this yet. You know what I mean? Even to set up in the house to do it. You know what I mean? Everybody, everything. And I said, no, 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 I'm not doing that. You know, this is the opening for some reason. And that thing was all over the internet. What holy?
what
What
really?
holy band? I mean, I go to look to see all every year. I can't even see one on television. And then all of a sudden, I'm seeing people sending me all of these things of what holy and me and these little clips all over. I said, but wait a minute though. You know, I couldn't even hide and do it then.
Well, it really was a pleasure. It was watching you
Oh yeah.
reminded me of what Walk Holy is all about.
Oh yes.
You
And
know,
this and
and
these little antics along the street, how y'all engaged everyone and stop with these kids. I was right here when this little girl was having her little waving time, you know. And I said, honestly, these are the things that we need to capture back, that the children can feel part of the festival. One year I went down to Spring Garden to see what Holy come down. We stayed over at a beach house so that we'll be there to early enough to see what Holy come down. Okay?
yes,
Y'all came down and Blue Box Cart was too close behind after y'all came down. And in tutus, the people was all over. And my little granddaughter was there at the time. And it literally traumatized her how the people were behaving and gyrating, you know. And I said, never again then would I go out sitting even to watch. So these is years that I stayed away even from watching the carnival, because I said it has nothing in it to see any longer. By the time they get
yes,
up there, the stockings sheared and the wings and the feathers all over the place. And even when they got to Spring Garden, there weren't nothing much to see. But
yeah,
with everything was intact to the end.
yes, yeah,
All of it was intact and looking good to the end. And
yeah.
I even went to the beach in mine. I had a swim in mine and it was still intact.
You,
Oh
you,
God.
you went to the beach afterwards.
Yes, that's my new swimsuit.
Wonderful. And that's a lot of people
I tell you,
some
will catch me in all sorts of more moments.
yes,
This is
but
this is when I come court with the wings no longer.
you were having a ball. You were having a
Oh yeah.
ball.
Oh yeah.
And a lot of people tell the people what happened after when we got to Spring Garden. Explain to them what happened, because sometimes people think we are just down, we're there and we're mixing up with everybody, and
Yeah, this
talk
is
to us.
just it. Because I didn't even know about that aspect of it. I didn't know what was gonna happen, you know. But as I said, I thought y'all were gonna stop by Brighton and then that would be the end of it. But went right through Bridgetown Market, so you get to see all the stores and everything as we go through. The people were very pleased to see the group as well, still engaging, the crowd. And then when we got to the bottom of Auntie Bell there, the most we saw of any bands was that connection between the crossroads when we just went
Mhm.
there like Kensington, and then we were gone from it. And that's as much as I saw for the day. It is only now when I went back and look at little clips and everything that I saw any of crop of the other bands, because
Mhm. Mhm.
we finished all of Spring Garden and Blue Box Start was nowhere in sight. We couldn't even hear their music. We,
Correct.
we literally had the road for ourselves.
And
Yeah.
then we went and had we had a meal at
Oh
back to
yeah.
the band, right?
Yes. Then we had that, and of course by then now I felt very much part of the whole thing. So by the time we got back to the band house, it was just everybody just relaxing around, having a little talks, eating. Oh gosh, it was lovely. And then we separated and went. Then who was going to the beach went to the beach, and who left thing, and we went to the beach, and we had a lovely time at the beach, soaking and talking and getting familiarized as well. So now I have another group, another group chat.
Listen,
Oh gosh, yes. These guys on the skates were even fantastic. The only thing I
yeah,
wish they had was a costume as well. Yeah, I know they had
yeah,
on the t-shirts, but if we could have had them in a particular costume and everything, it would have really been magical. You know what I mean? The way the thing. I keep them to a particular pattern. You know what I mean? I felt that they could have done loops through us and come back. One or two did it, but if it was done in unison, it would have been very spectacular with them in some form of costume and doing that as well. I thought that would have been a wonderful thing. And the kids seem to have loved seeing that as well. Yeah.
yes,
I feel
yes,
like if we with a couple little more dancers and then the skaters and things, we'll have a lovely band.
yes.
So
Well,
next year,
what do you want to say to the viewers as we close this interview? We have 3 more minutes.
oh
What do
yes,
you?
yes, that is what I would like to see. All these years that y'all been on the road, you would think that by now you would have enough more people would have come out and supported it differently. But I think that and people be thinking so much about the costume, but we have to remember that it's more than the costume. It is keeping the festival alive, keeping it clean, making sure that our young people can be part of it in the future and not that is something that meaning that we have to keep running from and more or less thing. And I know the churches still don't come because the figure is bacchanal and all that sort of rubbish. But we need to get away from that. We need to reclaim it and redeem it and make it that into a festival that our young people can understand its history and the roots of it and why we are doing it. Okay? And I think that the church needs to stop blaming it and calling it all other things and them themselves start being representatives of it because the church is in everything in this island. People go to all the different workplaces, they go to group things, they go to sport meets and everything. All them people that is around in Christians. Okay? And all of them is be doing their own thing. And you still got to be part of it. Okay, but you behave how you know to behave, and you be an example to those that need to be an example to. Okay, so I don't understand why is that this particular event gets so much hassle where that is concerned. I have seen how y'all have used the experience tank and how people have gravitated into all the other tanks, and I see people that you never thought would be Christians and saying things have come out and doing better now for themselves. You understand? Because there were those that were criticized to the point of tears. I used to hear the negativity of why Christians singing calypso, why they want to have a tank, and all of that went down. And look, 20 something years down the road now, look what has happened. And most of the calypsos are clean calypsos. They're calypsos that you could sing. And people can get historical fact. I remember when they used to use the calypsos even at university for history,
Mhm.
because a lot of it is filled with history. And I don't know, our young people don't have nothing. I'm so glad to see the little young lady, I hope that the soca part of it they can redeem because the soca we see is going further and further to being nothing.
Yeah,
It has no creativity in it. The lyrics are so annoying. The music itself sometimes is just hard for your head. But then again, I get it on, so it might be.
yeah,
But really and truly, we need to be able to do better. We just need
yes.
to do.
Well,
Yeah.
this is somebody watching here. Titan Reed, Titania Reed.
Tanya Reid. Yes,
Yes,
goodness,
said,
yes.
God willing, I would like to be part of 2027. Yes. And what we want to do, we're going to
Okay.
talk about it some more, but more clothes and all of that. We want to
Yes.
do more of that.
Yes. Yeah, I
Yeah.
think that is why I did it. And I would really like that people would realize when they see that You know what I mean? I got nothing but high praise about it. If we do nice costumes that would attract people, showing that you could put them on and still look decent and feel comfortable. I didn't know you could even have on so many clothes and still manage on the road. And the clothes were breathable. The material is breathable material. And as I said, I mean, there's no reason why people couldn't come along, and why church people should think that that is something wrong to be involved in. I've been a Christian since I was 14 years old. Okay, 14 years.
Yes,
And
yes, yes,
never
yes.
never stopped me from being, a creative person and wanting to be part of my island's traditions. Okay,
Correct. Correct.
when we sing our anthem, we sing it with pride. I stand and I cry many a time singing my anthem all through the years. It still holds a lot for me. And this is my Barbados. I'm sorry, I ain't letting nobody make me feel uncomfortable in Barbados. Yep.
Very much so. Very much so. Well, hoping that we would be able to um, have some more of you viewers with us next year.
Yeah,
Well,
I really
Cherie,
hope so.
I can't believe.
Titania Reid, I'm gonna hold you to that.
Well, it's 8:17. Believe me, we've gone over time, and so
Imagine that. And I thought I could not cope with more than 10 minutes.
and look at it, look at it. Well, thank you so much, Cherie, for joining
Thank,
us. It's been a
thank you,
pleasure.
Marcia. If it wasn't for you and your persistence, I heard how Mr. Allen credited you last night, and I can't say any better than he said it, but is it true? You are an angel for this country. The Lord kept you here. Remember when you told me you had no plans to stay in Barbados? And I said, Lord, this woman don't know. I just felt it right then. Then that day, you don't even know that. You understand? And I believed and followed you in everything you have done for all the years for this country. So you keep on
Yes.
keeping on, my dear. Okay. Blessings, everyone.
Yes, but thank you so much, Cherie. I've been doing the interview with a huge smile on my face because that's how the joy that when I saw you, and it just reminds us of why we do what we do. God bless you so much.
And you as well, my dear. Thank you.
Yes, God bless you. Thank
Ready.
you so much for joining.
Good
Yes,
night.
bye bye. Oh wow, I am still smiling, and and that's the joy. We really want to be part of encouraging people to participate in their culture, in your culture. If not, you're going to get it hijacked. Like how that woman, somebody said, I don't like the woman going on and gyrating on the soldier or on the police and the soldiers. Well, when we stay away, then that becomes that it becomes that. You understand? When we stay away, it becomes that. And you don't want people, they should not feel that they can come and hijack the culture. We need to have more floats with the chattel house, and can you imagine all those floats going along there and how beautiful it would be? I have this vision of a chattel house, and I started working on it already. Getting and started working on it in my head, of a float, and I think that it can be very, very powerful. Yeah. Well, guys, I told you that we're going to have Senator John King being interviewed on the show. Well, not quite. I went to an event and I did a mic on the move, and he was very, very willing. I asked him for an interview, and he was very willing to speak with me. And so here is the interview. So we are here at Carter's Shining Stars, and I had the opportunity. This is, I don't even know what to say, to see this man performing one of my favorite songs ever. How many more? I mean, you did some other things, but we're here with John King, and I'm saying John King, not Senator John King, John King, the performer. Oh my goodness, that was nostalgic, Mr. King.
Thank you so much. It's who I am. As I mentioned to the audience, there used to be a welfare officer acting a government industrial school many years ago,
Mm-hmm.
and that's before I went into music full time.
Yes.
And so, for me, when I see what is happening with our young men in particular, it's very difficult because a lot of people sometimes just write off people because they make a mistake or they might have done something, and gotten themselves in trouble. But I believe strongly that if we as a community and as a society will rally more around our young people, men, young boys in particular, we could save a lot of them from a lot of the things that they find themselves in. Because all they need to feel is that they are part of the community, not outside of the community.
Yes.
And then people can help them. I've seen young men coming to government industrial schools with all kinds of problems, but through mixing with different people and learning how to handle the problems and think in a different way. If I were to show you 10 of the people in society today, you would say, nah, couldn't be.
Right.
So I've seen it.
You've seen change.
I've seen the change, so I know it can happen.
Yes.
But we just need to be our brothers' keepers again.
Yes.
All families are not going to be the same. All families will not have the same resources in terms of financial, educational, or whatever it would be. But if we are our brothers' keepers, we can help to save some of these youngsters from a lot of the things that they find themselves in. And the unfortunate thing is, I hate to say things like this, but I think this is a good thing to say. These are the things that you see more prevalent in Black communities.
Yes, John.
Across the world, not just in Barbados, but across the world. And it tells me that obviously these things are not happening by chance. People are not putting guns in our young people's hands by chance. They want them to kill themselves.
Yes.
They want to see the back of them. But unfortunately, we can't have these conversations because everybody then begins to think,
they're talking about race.
They're talking about race.
Yeah.
They're talking about race.
Yeah.
We're talking about a reality that is in front of us. Look in this country. You don't see other people, kids, running around with guns shooting one another. And someone would tell me, but we are majority. Yeah, but we are minority in the United States of America though. And you see it happening there, in the communities there. So there has to be something is wrong. There's some underlying problem that we are not facing and dealing with. And I feel that problem always is identity. Who are we?
Identity.
Who are we as Black people? Who are we? Right? What do we stand for? What is it that we want the rest of the world to know us as? Not what the rest of the world says we are supposed to be. What is it that we want the rest of the world to know us to be? Violent? Killing ourselves? Unable to accomplish things? No, that's not who we are. We never were. But if you buy into that kind of a narrative, you watch movies, and this is what you see in the movies, and you decide, this is how Black people are supposed to live, right? In ghettos and kill each other and always, like downtrodden.
Yes, it's true.
If you internalize these things, then you make it into your own reality.
Mr. King, it's almost like you were in my house, because only this week I said to Dave, to my husband, Dave, I just can't even watch Black people beating each other on videos. Today, I saw there were about 4 guys here in Barbados, and they were beating another guy with a big tree branch. And I had to turn it off. Yeah, I'm tired of it. I'm tired of the shooting of each other. We're tired.
And the question is, when you ask people, what is this about?
Yes.
You're telling me that, each time you hear people say, is drugs, is this, they come up with all kinds of things. That still don't make it right.
So you think that you're saying that the issue is identity?
The issue is, it will always be identity.
And I agree with you.
Until we decide who we are, not what other people say. And until we deal with that particular problem, these things are going to come all the time. Because, I keep hearing people say, the markers are poverty and this thing and the next. I grew up poor.
Yes.
I'm sure you
I grew up poor too.
Most of us grew up poor.
Yes.
Name me 10 people. Black people that that come out of slave societies that grew up rich.
Right.
You find it hard to find time, right? So that's a foolish. I don't want to say foolish, but I guess it's foolish. That is a foolish thing to put there. Being poor doesn't make you a criminal.
Right.
or make you want to kill people to do all these things. Being poor, if you're a part of a community that cares, just means that we can help you
Yeah,
till you
yeah,
get on your
on the
feet.
feet. So, Mr. King, you have been saying this, because you
For
know,
years.
for years, myself, you and Dave, we've had these kinds of deep conversations about Africa. We fell in love with Africa through you. I believe you helped cause us to fall in love with Africa. Now, the big question is, Mr. King, how do we begin to teach identity? How do we? Where do we start? This is 2026 and we're still talking about identity.
One of the first things before you could even teach, really, you have to decide who you want to be.
Mm-hmm.
What are the things? You see, we got national anthem, we got national pledge,
Yes.
all of these things. But if you ask yourself, do we actually live our lives based on these things that we say that we are pride and industry?
Mm-hmm.
Do we live based on these things? No, we live a complete different life based on things that are fed to us by other people from other jurisdictions with other genders. They don't have us at heart.
Mm-hmm.
And it pains me to think that we have come so far and still are unable to think for ourselves.
Right. So what do we? Where do we? I understand all of that. Can we? Should we start in? Should we start at culture? Because I know that when you were Minister of Culture, not to go back there, but I just want to say that you had your mentality, the things that you discussed. I felt that I'm going to be honest. Honestly, I said in front of you, behind your back, sir. I believe that a lot of the plans that you had could have really transform how we see culture and how we see and therefore how we see ourselves, because culture is. And so what could we put in place for the children?
I think one of the things that we have to do is to stop shying away from having what I call the essential conversations with our young people. You know what I mean? Right across the board. This has nothing now to do with race, color, class, nothing. This has to do with being a human being.
Right.
Once you start off letting people know that every human being has value. It is not based on their education. It is not based on how much money they have. It is not based on any of those things. It is just based that as a creation of God, you have value. Once we establish that you have value and you also are endowed with different talents, then we have to find a way to help you to express those talents that you have and to develop them.
Okay.
And once you're developing the talents, you also have to let people know that when we help you to develop these talents, it is your responsibility now to use these talents to better the environment within which you live. So if it is dance, if it is music, if it is making clothes, if it is cooking food, whatever it is, you must always, at the center of whatever you do, think to yourself, how am I contributing to the society that looks after me? And how do I live my life in such a way that
Ronnie,
influence others to do the same?
right.
I see you as my equal. I don't see you as somebody that I look down on because you ain't got a university degree or a doctorate in front of your name, or you probably ain't got no certificates at all other than a birth and a baptism. Those things are neither here nor there.
Right.
You're dealing with a human being.
Right.
And
Yes.
until we can get people to understand that human beings have value, rich, poor, black, white, yellow, I don't care what the color is, we all have value and we all have something, internal gift given to us by God that we can share with each other.
Yes.
And so once we start from that point, then everything else will build out itself, because when you go to school and you are not doing as well as the others, people will not ostracize you.
Right, because
People will know that you have value.
Right, you
so
have
therefore,
yes.
once you have
Makes sense.
value, I am going to find out what is it that he or she is good at.
Yes.
And I'm going to help you to be the best that you can be at that. I'm not going to ostracize you and look at you in a certain way. Like, oh, he or she is the
Because
dumb.
the value system has changed.
God, the value system
Wow.
change. You
Wow.
understand?
Wow.
So until you can change the value system, and these value systems were handed to us, these were not our value systems that we came in, but these value systems were handed to us. So it means that if you have more money, if you have more education, you have more water, I am therefore better than you.
Right.
And so therefore, once I'm better than you, whatever is going on with you is your problem. You got to deal with it.
Right.
And I'm saying that don't make no sense. It makes absolutely no sense to me.
Yes.
Right? Second thing is, we've always had this thing about telling people, go to school and get a good job. It has to be more than that.
Right.
I keep saying all the time, okay, if I get a good job and I can do whatever, I can buy whatever I want, that's at me. But how does that help the society at large? We gotta teach people that don't care what your station is in life, that you, whatever it is that you got that got value, you must share it with others.
Yes.
You must not you could or if you want to, but that you must share it with others.
But
So,
Mr. King, do you think we are too far gone at
no,
this stage?
not too far gone.
You don't think so?
No, not too far gone. Because on the other hand, when you walk through this country, look, take myself as an example, right? I always tell people I could go anywhere in this country and knock on the door if I'm hungry and say, look, John King out here, I would like a breadfruit, I would like a yam, I would like a potato, and people will give it to me. I've seen it many times, right?
Especially St. Philip.
Yeah, but let me tell you.
You know how we are in St. Philip. We're Philippines. We know you guys.
Exactly.
We know you guys.
So I'm saying this is how, when you live your life in a certain way, you don't have these kind of like, I better than you because I'm accomplished some things and all that kind of thing. People respect that, right?
Yeah.
But people also have to understand that together we are strong. People say all the time, but then they don't live it.
Live it, yeah, when it's time to live it.
But it's time to live it because the world around us is changing.
Yes.
And as other countries become more insular, we in Barbados and by extension the Caribbean must band together to ensure our own survival.
Yeah.
And you know my passion about Africa. What do you think that you're so passionate about Africa? Because I knew, or I still do, I know from about 11 years old, that Africa, a continent that has every possible thing that you could dream of to sustain life, and we being the diaspora, why would you not want to be involved with the land you came from?
Yeah.
I keep trying to get people to understand, that put all the Caribbean countries together, right? In some parts of Africa, that population is just one African country's population.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought that this interview, this is a John King that I know and that Dave and I have had a lot of conversations with, and it was a real joy and an honor to have had that conversation with him tonight. I mean, not tonight, but that particular night there in July at the Carter's Shining Star opening night, which was an amazing night. I think Dave is getting ready to show us a little bit more just of John King's his singing. We're just gonna his performance, just a little 2 minutes. I see the announcer is here, and I had promised you to show you the rest of it, so I'll just show you 2 minutes, and then the announcer is going to join us tonight. But very, very deep individual, a very sincere man. We differ obviously on we have different viewpoints about different things. We have never always agreed on the same points. As you know, he's a BLP senator, And there are lots of things in terms of their policies and so on that I am totally against. But I know that Mr. John King, is a very decent man. And he is, a hard worker. And
85. Like I said, skinny and bony. You believe that?
Go right ahead, Dave. Go right ahead.
I'm now 62 years old. So, there are a number of things that I sang about over the years. I won a plantation, was one, and I was fortunate to get a job at the plantation. But this next song, when I sang it, I was concerned about something I saw then, which may very well still happen today. Let me put this there. When you live on a small island with small land space, land becomes a very premium commodity. And for those of us who would have been the offspring of slaves, for us to own a piece of land, it's a very important thing. But what happens if others with no connection here become the major owners of land? Now, I'm not a person who's going to advocate that you don't sell land to people. I believe that if a person wants to live here and they can buy some land, you can sell it. But don't get me, I agree, because I got to come at the part, they got to come at a good price. But we declare love of country. We declare national. Claiming the tax of property forever and forever. But it's something that's really clear. Proudly and come. I'm ringing falls here by here. So that we so far about it. Whoa, everybody say, these things are here. We are recalled. So many are free, our very own account. These things are here. When we don't say yes, what kind of things when they belong for a minute. Now we foolishly said no, we can't get us to play the ball. All the West want to be, but they didn't for a thing. We will not tell me all we are on the call.
Oh, wow. That's for you. Still so applicable. It is still so applicable. And you know what was so amazing is how people were just singing the songs in the audience. And, they were all into, remembering the songs, and they remember the lyrics. And you could tell that they imagined that they were there back in that time. And that's what he brought on stage. And it was great to see him back in his form as a Calypsonian. That's how we know him, Senator John King. It was indeed a pleasure. Well, that interview, we will play it another night, okay? So we're going to complete it. It's 25 minutes long, and I think we only did about 15 minutes, so we will complete the interview at another time. But right now, we have coming into the studio the man who had last crop over. Hot, this show hot. Let me tell you, when he was on, everybody wanted to see him. And he is no other than the announcer. We had a ball last year, didn't we? And he's gracing us with his presence for the first time for the season. And I present to you the announcer.
Thank you, Marcia. It's a blessing, it's a privilege, and it's an honor to be here. Thank everybody for their support for 2025 and 2026. We go back 25 years. I was a part of the original WALKHOLY Band, founder member of the Experience Calypso tent in 2004. And since then, I've been a part of the All Stars Calypso tent, and currently the Carter's Shining Star. And this is the only shirt of its kind in the world, the announcer Carter's Shining Star. There's only one, not two. This is it. This is it. So I know it's in hot demand, and we'll see where it goes from there. But of course, Julie and the team have been absolutely tremendous this year. Yeah. So thanks for your support. I was really looking forward to being on at some point during the season, but that was not feasible. I think when we were looking to link up, we had the day of the funeral of the late, great, right, excellence, Garfield Orban Sobers.
Correct.
And we definitely had to concede to the ceremony and the observance of a great man, the greatest cricketer ever, and one of the greatest Barbadians ever. Simple as that.
Yes. And you know, the announcer, I am sitting here and I'm remembering the interview we had the first time you came on the show. We had just had someone in the fraternity, a DJ. He had died. You know, in the hospital.
Alvin Toppin.
You're very good.
I have the funeral pamphlet right here. This was Alvin. He died on the 2nd of July last year, and the National Carol Festival was released the weekend before he died. And I'm told that when he was conscious and discussing Crop over that weekend, that he was very surprised at the negative reaction from Starcom Network to the song. So I knew that he was cognizant of the early part of that particular episode, and he was one of the persons I referred to, including John Doe, Warren Fort, the late great John Doe, in comments I made on your show on the 16th of July. Did I appear on your show as the announcer or the program manager? Let's be clear. How did I appear on your show?
You came on as the announcer, and you made that very, very, very clear.
And I was on your program. I was on your program 2 weeks before that, and I was on your program 2 weeks after that. On all three occasions, I appeared as the announcer. Who am I appearing as tonight? The announcer or the program manager?
The announcer.
So I'm here to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, it's the same, the announcer in 2026 as it was in 2025. And people have convenient ways of taking comments that I make and applying them to other situations. And we know that is entirely untrue. And it is proven to be unfortunate, unnecessary, disrespectful, dishonorable, dismissive. And for those who are wondering, because it is a matter which has gone as far as a tribunal, that episode is at the center of it. In fact, there were 7 quotes from that program. 7 quotes from that program. I presented all of this on November the 15th, 2025. 7 quotes. And 3 of them were made by me as the announcer on your program and taken by these 4 and put as reasons to dismiss a program manager. Let me just read them for you. Is that okay?
Yeah,
because remember, after I was on your program, all of this happened. This didn't happen up until the time that I was on your program. And while people came to the march on the 15th of November, 2025, many people may not have heard the documents and the facts and the truth, because everybody went quiet after November 15th. You notice that there was nothing said after November the 15th, right? Everybody went quiet.
Yes.
Because everything came from Starcom Network.
Yeah.
It wasn't conjecture made by me. This is word for word. So there were 7 comments made by the announcer on the Marcia Weekes Show. And these comments were, one, people say they don't listen to VOB anymore for Cop Over, and there's an ellipsis after that, 3 dots, which means something follows that, something preceded that. But that's what it said. Number 2, we have this fear of addressing what they call the elephant in the room. When you're in an arena, transparency and fact are the expectation of the people that support you, whether they listen to you, whether they spend money with you, whether they work for you. It's hard to be in a situation where you see that is not being delivered. Number 3, if those views were taking into account actions that were legitimate and inimical to the standing and relationship of particular persons and entities, I would be gone long time. Number 4, so not only opening night was there call for me to consider, it happened on Monday, which is the 14th, right, of July, which is 2 days before the program, which you had on screen, right? But earlier and again, all it did was embolden me to get out there. Number 5, I've said enough to show you that I have come to realize that there's no middle ground at this point for them, and their intentions were, possibly still are, to stop me going forward because their assessment takes not account things which are not on the Calypsonian side of the line. Number 6, the intention was to stop me. How far is too far? And number 7, listen carefully, having lost John D., having lost Dennis, having recently lost Alvin, I look around and I see empty spaces in studios, in corridors, in production rooms, in the garages, parking spots, silence where there used to be power and wisdom and activism. If I don't do it, who's going to do it? Like I said, the intention was to stop me. I say that 100% cognizant of why I say that. And if I didn't do it, there would be no National Carol Festival. How far is too far? Has the right to exercise that gift and talent without interference, and concerns that are outside of that private personal space. You are not owned or bought or rented beyond a certain border, as long as you have a clear understanding as to what you have a right to. We cannot allow our right to be strategically removed, and if those who are supposed to support you to challenge that are in line with those who are seeking to take it from you, then you have to go further, and don't be afraid. Now that I read 1 to 7, right? Hear this. It has been concluded. Now this is from the dismissal letter, you know, right? It has been concluded that statements 2, 5, and 7 are in breach of policy number 5 of the Policies and Procedures Manual, June 2002, in that the statements were made in relation to the Starcom Network, Inc. And first of all, did I ever mention Starcom Network, Inc. on the 16th of July?
No.
All right. And it says here, in a public forum, 1, 2, are false and malicious. Can you imagine that? Those 3 comments are false and malicious, and obviously and significantly detrimental to the best interests of the Starcom Network insofar as they are disparaging, undermine the credibility, and directly attack the integrity of the company. So comments I made as the announcer, the Calypsonian, on your show on Wednesday, July the 16th, 2025, were referenced but attributed to the program manager, and the program manager was fired. Now look, there was a meeting.
We can't see your face now. Watch the camera. Yeah.
There was a meeting requested. Well, first of all, there was an appeal. Now, did you hear me mention any of this during Copova, Marcia? Anything at all?
No.
Did you see on social media any post by me, any video by me? Did you hear about it on any radio station or television station in this country? No, you didn't. You're hearing this for the first time.
Yeah.
You see, I still believe that knowing my position, and my position is correct, and certainly unchallenged since November the 15th, that I have tried to keep the focus elsewhere as the matter progressed. And I didn't need a circus, no pun intended, during crop over. I did not speak to this during crop over. I had the song The People's King, which spoke to the events of crop over last year, and by virtue of the announcer being used in this chain of events, made a reference in the song as well. For those who went to the finals, you would have seen it and heard it. But companies give you a hearing, and then they convene an appeal. In the YouTube video, I went through everything relating to the hearing, which led to the dismissal. And that decision was communicated on Friday, November the 7th, and the march was on Saturday, November the 15th. There was in December of 2025 an appeal, because everybody's been asking me everywhere, what's happened? Okay. And the appeal, or the committee to hear my appeal. Now remember, the sole commissioner in the hearing was the human resource manager, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it was indicated that the human resource manager appointed herself to be the sole commissioner. 2019, when I had an issue, the board was there.
Mm-hmm.
You're listening?
Okay.
This time it was one person selected by that person.
Really?
A person that was a person that had had seen all the communication from the previous year leading up to this situation, right? So note that for those who've never recognized that before. The appeal was heard by two people that report ultimately to the gentleman that signed my dismissal. That is the CEO of the Nation Group, Noel Wood. They report to him. Those two persons, along with a manager from Starcom Network, who reports to Mr. Anthony Green, who made the complaint against me and initiated the activity against me. So imagine you have three people, and I won't call their names now. I'll leave that there. I don't have to call their names. Three people that report to the two people that ultimately fired me are being asked to overturn their decision. How does that sound to you, Marcia?
Hold a minute. So, who is asking them to overturn the decision?
I am saying I would be, because I'm making the appeal, right?
Because you're making the appeal, but it's to the I mean it's already
the appeal was made to three people that ultimately report to the two people that severed my employment at Starcom Network. So for those who wonder, it means the people in charge of you have made a decision, and you are asked as a committee by the person dismissed to overturn the decision of your bosses, basically.
Right. No.
That sounds good to you?
No. Yeah.
Leave it, because at the end of the day, my attorney, Mr. Hal Gollop, I think Mr. Neil Marshall was working with him, done a tremendous job for me. So I had to put that in there. Are you clear on what I said? You're clear on what I said, right?
Yes.
So then in 2026, the meeting requested, I think they call it a conciliatory meeting, with the Labour office, where the parties come together and before the assigned personnel working with the Labour office share their sides as directed and questioned and asked. And it was done very professionally. And then there's time for a recess where the persons in the department meet with the two parties separately, right? I'm going to say this. I don't believe the truth should ever be a disadvantage to me. I don't think, in the interest of transparency, that the truth should be a problem. You think the truth should be the truth and should be shared, right?
Right. The truth is the truth. And why
We want to know. Well, I'm going to tell you. A position was clearly seen, according to all of the schedules and clauses and formulas and procedures and laws that are taken into consideration for my situation.
Yes.
According to what was discussed and recognized, anybody with an interest in human resources, in the rights of employers, in the rights of employees, would find this interesting. It was shown and presented that the very manner of communication and attached actions was incorrect. To the point that a formula, not some willy-nilly ad hoc mediatory attempt, but in terms of what the guidelines and the provisions actually say how this type of development should be handled. A formula recognized to calculate for that specific act was used. I'm not talking about the comments made on the services of the Starcom network in a news bulletin read by Barry Wilkinson and shared online, or those comments being relayed by other media in this country as to what was not a factor, but which is clearly seen as a factor in the events that took place, or how my reputation is supposed to be affected by my performance in my role as a manager, which again, performance appraisals or lack thereof, recognition by the general manager and the human resource department with a special award, clearly shown not to be the case. And then, of course, all the correspondence as it relates to National Carol Festival, Sir Ronald Clark from Anthony Green, all of them things there. there was an amount, according to the official manner in which you calculate. Not a wish from me or a wish from my attorney or an idea.
Just based on their formula.
Based on the way it is. Just for the manner of dismissal and the attached action. It came to $181,000 and a few cents. Because we're talking facts here now. Can't be disputed. So a potential for settlement would start there, at least in terms of the discussion, based upon what the schedule says and the formula says. And that took place earlier this year, before crop over. I think it was April. I believe it was April. I believe it was April. I know I may be wrong on occasion, but I believe it was April. So you have a situation where this has been presented. And according to what led to the calculation, it's pretty clear. But that was not accepted. It was considered for further discussion, as far as I'm aware. But the response was no. And the tribunal would direct ultimately what they are prepared to do or asked to do or not asked to do. As you know, that's just dealing with the manner, not the other aspects, as I alluded to earlier, that may come into consideration for a person in a situation such as myself. But let me make it clear. Every case before mine is important. Otherwise, it wouldn't be there, right? True? So it shows you how vital and essential it is that these matters be heard.
Correct.
Because if it isn't clear-cut, test it and see. It is very unsettling and discomforting to know that things can be in your favor, even with a sum attached, but there's still some time that has to pass, traditionally it seems, to get to the final stage. Everybody who's at that stage now, I understand. And let me say thanks to the National Insurance Social Security Scheme, because I took my national insurance for the full complement. And I went, like everybody does, present my information, go for my stamp. On the one occasion when I didn't go for my stamp on time, I lost my money for that particular month. And because you are receiving that and you're going through the process of your complaint or appeal, and you're thinking, well, if it's that clear, then potentially a settlement will bring all of this to an end and they can continue to operate in the knowledge that the matter has been settled, and I can move forward from my perspective, and it doesn't need to be a case of official record against them. And all the details won't be referenced officially as it relates to Clark and the nation/Starcom. Why would they be comfortable having all those details in stone, which will ultimately show an unfavorable position in terms of what I see here? Let me
what you have before you.
Yeah, you know, so I just
Are you stuck, Ronnie?
No, I'm here. I'm here. I'm
Okay,
here. I'm
all
back.
right,
I'm
yeah.
back.
No,
I
but,
just re-
but you know, I just want to say this, that, you know, one of the things I have found out sitting in this chair here is that we have a lot of cases at the tribunal, and some of them going on for years and years and years, and people have not gotten any justice. And sometimes they say, you know, justice delayed is it justice denied?
Well,
And I'm not
it's
sure
a long
why
delay.
that long, and we've had a discussion on here. One of the reasons we're being told is that they don't have enough staff, right? That they lack staff. But could it be a strategy, not necessarily for your company, but I wonder sometimes if this is a strategy for a lot of these companies, you know?
Whatever decisions companies and people take, they do so with a specific purpose and intention. And they are guided accordingly. So, while there are a number, and it could be a number that causes people to frown, shake their head, sigh in disappointment, because those affected still have to live.
Correct.
If they do live to that time when the matter is heard and the decision made. So it's a very serious matter for everybody concerned. And there's no guarantee of anything. But it was necessary for those who've been asking to understand. So how did I get into crop over this year? I had a song called Don't Mind Them. Starcom played that. They said they cleared National Carol Festival after it was played at the finals. I don't know how many times it played on Starcom Network between August 1st last year and today's date, the 12th of August 2026.
But isn't that strange that it would be cleared after the finals? It's the same song, you know. It was cleared after the finals, but it wasn't played before.
God is not the author of confusion, my dear. And where there is confusion, there needs to be an explanation. Remember, Starcom Network never responded to the correspondence from Baka on 3 occasions.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Even though Dawn Thomas of One Caribbean Media acknowledged that she had received the correspondence and the concerns of the Barbados Association of Creatives and Artists. So there was never any response to that specific matter. And it should say something to the entire body of Calypsonians in this country. When a Calypsonian's work and his appearance to support that work or to review that work and comments made while doing so can lead to the employment of a person being affected, there shouldn't be such quiet amongst Calypsonians.
But let me ask you, let's bring it to this year. I mean, I saw just a question here. Jamal Slocum. Jamal is he is on the radio. He is not a presenter, but
Moderator.
A moderator. And he's singing his calypso, and I mean, a lot of what was done on stage for some people left a lot to be desired in what he was singing and saying. Why is it I'm hearing myself, Ronnie? Are you listening?
I can hear you.
Yeah, but I'm hearing back myself. I'm wondering if are you listening to anything?
No, I'm listening to you. Yeah,
okay. Right. So I was saying that Mr. Slocum, he's able to sing, and some of what he presented on stage to me was, as I said, was not the best. But I don't understand what was the difference with what you did and what he's doing.
Well, you don't have to bring Jamal into it. Very talented young man, very exciting, exuberant, and expressive Calypsonian to date. And I've supported his calypso from the time that they placed him last in Junior Monarch. I'm not sure people remember that. But he's always stood out, and I think that he's definitely on the rise. But you don't have to go back. You don't have to come to 2026. Let me show you this. This is my card from the National Cultural Foundation as a Calypsonian, okay? The person from Starcom Network who sat on the 3-member appeal committee to review my situation is also a member of the Calypso community. Is also a member of a Calypso tent. That person was on the stage immediately before I was on finals night at Botanical Gardens Richard Stowe Amphitheatre on August 1st, 2025. That same person performed under the same conditions as I did. How does that sound?
Wow. What are you saying? So you're saying in this appeal that one of the persons that you had to go before for this appeal was also a Calypsonian that would have had a badge just like that, drew a number the same as you did, and performed just before you.
Performed as part of the presentation of contestant number 5. That's what I'm saying. A fellow manager.
Wow.
Now, let's come back to 2026, shall we? You mentioned Jamal. Strong song. Talk about that. Strong performer. I don't think he had a bad night in the big show. He was excellent on judging night. And in the clip that made its way through social media, which I shared, represented himself well. He has a line in there where he says, why don't you talk about why Ronnie get fired from VOB, but not me? I still host in Brass Tacks Weekly. I don't think when Adrian wrote that for him, he considered it to be or intended for it to be a problem. But there is a problem, and I pointed it out in correspondence, which I posted to social media to the attention of Jamal and his songwriter. I understand what you're trying to say, but look at this. Me being a Calypsonian is at the center of the issue. And the reasons why were publicly shared on Saturday, November the 15th, 2025, 6 months before you recorded your song.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I know that speculation is an approach that Calypsonians use to make a line juicy, to get the attention of the public. But the information is there, so your research should be detailed to a point that you could say, you know what? It's already out there. The public knows. The public knows what Starcom and the nation have said, and the public have heard what Starcom said to Ronnie Clark, the program manager, from 2024 through to 2025, in their own words. And the irony is that as program manager, the very chair that he would sit in to moderate, along with the general manager, working with him in my capacity as program manager, I put the chair there that he sits in to be moderator.
Mm-hmm.
Albeit that David Ellis and Anthony Green would have given Jamal the blessing to be a part of the moderating team. He has his own style. He has his own way. He has his unique presentation, as do the others, seasoned and relatively new. But to say that, knowing that to be the case now, I think it was very unfortunate. But look,
But how, what you listening to that as a Calypsonian, what did you take away from that line in the song? What about it sparked your interest or thought that why did they do that? Why did it concern you?
Because Ronnie Clark getting fired from Starcom Network in that manner is a topic that will elicit response. And because he is a moderator,
Yes.
it would be something that he can say that others cannot say. Like I said, if you are unaware of the fact that you are Calypsonian as well as a moderator, and that being a Calypsonian caused the same Ronnie Clark and his comments made as a Calypsonian on your program are integral to this debacle, as I call it, then you should be very careful about what you continue to say, knowing full well that it is known why, and it is known how, and that it is going to a different level other than being discussed at the bar, at the big show, or the Pickety Cup finals at the Botanical Garden. But
Did
you know what?
Did you get a response when you checked them about the line in the song?
Well, I put that there for everybody to read and see. Me and Adrian are very amicable and friendly. Classic says that he's my half brother with darker skin, and I am the redder one. And then you have Jamal, who I've seen on a number of occasions since I shared that. And I encouraged him to do well. Remember, he performed at position 17. I had position number 18. I drew 5 originally. I wanted 18 to bring the matter to a close, literally, figuratively. And Queen T was able to be fresh for her debut performance in the first half behind Blood at number 4. And I think that Jamal performed in a manner that audiences in Barbados, large sectors of audiences or sections of audiences in Barbados, like that kind of presentation. They enjoy that. They enjoy the words used, the things said, and the actions. But let's not be foolish to say that the announcer didn't utilize that situation either. I just did it in a different way.
Yeah.
And there was no, particularly having dressed as Carol Roberts the previous year, and so beautifully apparently. But that is part and parcel of Barbadian soca and calypso. Okay, look, needles and pins. Gabby, director. Saucy. Mad. Many ways. Bulletproof. Here. Then Archibald. Or just Queen now. And with certain things being shared on social media, that became a talking point for many people in the Pickety Crop finals. Now, I mentioned Ronnie Clark was a talking point, not only for Jamal, but in a stronger way in terms of support or awareness by Ian Webster, by Quan, and let me say, Quan could, and for many people should, have finished second or third. I am of the view, third or second. Quan was strong in that as well. We had Francois in the Carter Shani Stars Calypso tent, and others in other tents making reference to my situation. In relation to Jamal, he came out fighting because Ian made reference, Quan made reference, the announcer made reference, Kid Sight made more than one reference. So he would artistically and creatively compete and perform to suit. Now, everything everybody does is not going to be to their taste. There are people that would be glad that the announcer came second last because of what I sang this year. I had to refer the events of last year, but I didn't want to wholesale change my song just to sing about everybody else. And I didn't. I had Sagafin Sobers in my song for the whole season, the Right Excellent Sagafin Sobers. I had King Jaja of Apobo. I had Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King. I had King Dial. I had John King. I had the Prime Minister, Mia Motley. I had Queen Rita, all royalty, observer. So you can't just lay that one side, push up the last verse into the second verse, and then just kill everybody in your song going down. And these are things that some people consider, but do that because they figure the impact that they get may hold them in good stead as far as the judges are concerned. But I wasn't prepared to do that. And you know, Carol Roberts and I, we spoke once last year. This is after the song was on the radio. This was after the complaint was made against me, right? As program manager, I did all of this already. And it says, posting of material under the name Nobby Clark on Facebook about Miss Carol Roberts, CEO of the National Cultural Foundation. So a call was made, and remember there was an investigation against me or into those same comments made by me. Remember, I put National Carol Foundation on the 28th of July, 2025. Remember, I put that in the presentation last year. That's so the public will have a reference point, because those comments were made in relation to this article. Now, I want my friends at The Nation to know that they printed this article on Friday, August the 16th, 2024. It's yours. Yeah. With the same two managers that were in the appeal panel, pivotal in the success of this publication, and the same CEO in charge of this company, watching the sales for this Nation, Weekend Nation edition go out there, right? Remember, she said material not strong enough. This was 2024. That's why I posted everything I posted. Orgy of fete after fete after fete, National Carol Foundation, National Carol Festival. All of these things have been presented to the public already. And they were presented everywhere and will be presented again, if necessary, if required. Yeah. Right? Yeah. So these aren't things that are made up. These are things that are documented, leading to a complaint where I indicated very clearly the song is coming the following year. And it did come the following year. In between then, I got the special award. There was no complaint about my performance. What you don't know, what you don't know is that there was a very successful survey for Starcom Network in the early part of 2025, which followed a very successful survey for Starcom Network in 2024. Who was the program manager for these two successful surveys, Marcia?
Would have to be you.
We heard about the results of the one in 2024. Did you hear about the campaign for the success of the stations in 2025? No, you didn't. Now, why wouldn't you brag about the success of your stations and the performance of the outlets which made Starcom Network look good, sound good, and create good business for clients and satisfaction for the overwhelming majority of listeners? How would that make the program manager look if you did that at the time when you're saying that he's a problem? Can the two of those things coexist? They can't. They can't. They can't. So all of this was happening, and Barbadians did not know. All of this happened. All of this happened. This crop over, and I've shared all this new information for you about the panel, about the amount of the award that to settle this matter, because things are certainly in my favor, and yet this is how business continues. And one more thing, the flag is back up. Remember, they didn't have a flag.
I remember. Yeah, I remember. You were. Let's remind the people you were saying that.
But hold on. I said that on November the 15th as I looked across. The flag is back up, but I'm not sure. They can correct me if I'm wrong. You know, you would fly the flag at half-mast in honor of a national hero. I guess if you're a government building, yes. But imagine not even having a flag at that time, possibly, to honor and indicate to the nation what has happened, even if you decided to. Isn't that unfortunate? If that were the case, because I didn't, I don't spend my time checking Starcom Network's flag every day. But if I am in the River Road bandstand or heading to my doctor or insurance company or whatever the case may be, I will look across and see that. And I would shake my head if I don't see the flag. So I'm happy to see it. But let me just say that people are asking me about my future. Now the NIS has come to an end. Cropover was not successful financially, so there are obvious challenges. My track record is known. My performance is known. My ability, experience, and knowledge is assessed by everybody since 1995 in various capacities: listener, client, promoter, entertainer, producer, business. So the opportunities, given the state of the industry and the economy in the industry, in a traditional way, do not appear to be forthcoming. There's also the potential that, or the possibility, or the thought that, given the situation, there are those that would rather avoid entangling themselves or being embroiled in the state of events and the matter until it is concluded. There is one contact that was made quite early, and various seasons and situations have seen progress, but according to events as they are. There's the possibility that it will be resolved quickly. There's the possibility, when I say resolved, I mean between me and that party, not Starcom Network, not the nation. If someone asks me if I'm going back to the nation to work, how on earth would that happen? With things as they are and the action taken against me in the way it has been taken. My position is I'm not wrong. So I'm able professionally to work in any situation where I'm not wrong.
Yeah.
The problem would be for others. So there's a possibility that you will hear me nationally soon. And it will be in a very unique way. Or, notwithstanding the success that can occur in a relatively short space of time, if that is done, there will be something different. There's also social media interest, audio and video, and that is where we are for people who are concerned.
So you want, there are some prospects there as in terms of future, and I know you've been writing a lot of songs, etc. Yeah,
I did 5 songs for juniors this year. Never Too Young to Die by Lil E was getting encores in the Carter Shining Stars tent. I wrote for Chelsea as well, beautiful song. I wrote for Queen, and I wrote for Star Blazer, that's Lil E's little brother.
Yeah.
And for, I think it was Charity in the House of Soca as well. And I did numerous songs. The majority of the songs would not have received the type of rotation that other songs would. But on that point, because we hear about Kopova, there's been a lot of focus on the competitions, things that came back, things that haven't come back, the success or the impact of Bashment Soca, the rotation of Bashment Soca, the extent to which songs submitted for radio have received spins, as we call them every time they play, in time periods that normally include wider audience participation, particularly with youth. And these are matters that require proper deliberation. Let me just get back to one point. I made the point that I only spoke to Carol once in 2025, and I spoke with Carol for the first time since Pop Over 2025, when I was part of the group that met with the National Cultural Foundation the week before Pickety Crop Finals to determine the venue for Pickety Crop Finals. Let me stress, it was very fair, frank, adult, sincere, honest, forthright meeting. And I was asked by the group to be the spokesperson to the media. And everybody saw the irony in it. Carol was asked if she would have a problem with it. She said, of course not. And we left the boardroom and went downstairs and spoke with the media. And the pictures were there. I noticed that the picture that the nation put online was not the one that they had on the front page of the Saturday Sun, which looked far more amicable than the one where Carol's hand was in motion and people had a lot to say on social media. And Carol got a lot of heat on social media since last year. And my name as the announcer, or as Ronnie Clark, the program manager, was attached to it. But I've shown very clearly tonight with the documents that I have and all the correspondence, notwithstanding the complaint against the program manager by the NCF CEO, that Starcom Network and the nation are the persons engaged in legal matters, tribunal matters to date. So let's be clear about that. People say a lot of things, but let's be clear about that. I am not aware of any conversation that Carol has had with anybody besides me. And I've told you, we've only spoken twice since 2025. And we are not enemies. We are not enemies. We're not.
Yeah.
In fact, at the meeting, when it was proposed that I be the spokesperson for the group, she says, well, I have another wig in my car. Do you want me to go and get it for you?
But
remember, she's one of the best broadcasters we've produced. She has a great sense of humor, excellent with the use of English language, and she's able to contribute orally in many ways, and timing is impeccable. I'm sorry she didn't bring the wig. I'd have taken off my red hat, which is this one, and I'd have put the wig on. Yeah.
Put the wig on. Well, you went through the this finals, and I wasn't at the last finals. I wasn't at 2025. I was carrying it on my program here, but then I just I went down. I went there on this finals night, and I saw how the place fell apart when Adrian Clark, when AC was finished singing.
Yep.
And it crossed my mind, and I said to myself, well, I wasn't there, but this is what you felt on while watching you perform last year, 2025. And I wondered to myself, well, if that happened for the announcer and he didn't win, what's going to happen to AC? Because people say, well, you can't go by the crowd with what the judges say and whatever.
Well, Marcia, let me address that. Marcia, can I address that?
Yeah, go right ahead.
Now, last year, this is very important. When Blood won for the first time, he won by 17 points. One judge in 2018 put Donella last. I sang a song about that. And the potential gap between Donella and Blood If he finished second, would have been 17 points. If he finished first, 19 points by that judge. There was a 2-point separation in terms of values points from 20 for first to 18 for second. This year, first place got 50 points and second place got 40 points. Adrian scored 330 points, which means 5 judges placed him first and 2 could have placed him second to give him a total of 330 out of 350. It says that 2 judges did not put Adrian first. For Adrian's score, it's highly unlikely that he placed less than second. Highly unlikely. In fact, mathematically, that couldn't happen based upon the 330 score. When I finished third, I had 101.5 points, which is an average divided by 7 of, let's say, 14.5, between 14 and 15, which means there were judges there that had to put me 4th or even 5th or even 6th on that night last year. Can you believe that?
Mm-hmm.
So when Adrian hit down, because what I did, I watched the show up until Adrian performed, and then I went to dress. I did. I watched it. And if Adrian didn't win that competition on finals night, it would have been bedlam. Now, he deserved to win it. I think I deserved to win it too, but he deserved to win it with the acclaim of the public that was supported by the song hitting the radio and being an absolute smash hit from the time it was debuted until now. And it will be a smash hit long after that. In fact, before the song was released, Adrian sent the song to the Admiral, sent to a couple of others, and he sent it to me before he released it to radio. And I said, this is fantastic, it's brilliant, it's excellent. I also indicated to him that I wrote a song called Soca Classic with him in mind. And I mentioned many of the people that he mentioned in terms of referencing how great their music was. But he had his song since last year, so we were basically looking at nostalgia and legacy in different ways. But his concept, some would say necromancy with the spirit entering him. I think some people missed that. But in terms of how the song was being presented, it was true to the song. The only issue would have been, how was he going to deliver? Because the truth be told, at the big show judging night, Ian Webster and Crystal Cummins Beckles and Jamal Slocum had a greater impact at the judging. But I couldn't judge Adrian at preliminaries. Like Mighty Gabby has famously said, you do not win a semi-final. And recall 2001, where Adrian's voice had gone, affected him, and he still made the final that year. Came back in strong voice with this melody and judgment. So if 2 more judges scored it differently, and another judge, like they did with me, went as far as 4th, 5th, or 6th, the result could have been different. And Adrian is so good. He doesn't take anything for granted. Neither does Ian Webster. They do everything they possibly can to score as much as they can and win. Think about it. Adrian didn't get to the finals in 2022, but in 2019, I think he was second with the Christmas song. He may have been joint second, I think, with TC. He didn't make it in 22. In 23, he was second. In 24, he was first. In 25, he was 4th. and in 26, he was first. That shows you how brilliant he is. Ian Webster similarly, from his re-entry in 2012. In fact, you can go back to 2003 because he left after that. So they are the benchmark. And Blood on occasion has won twice. Classic is there twice. And that really is the story of the part. And Kitsai hasn't won since 2006. So his second position was his highest in 21 years. People overlook that point. So it's a contrast of styles. But Adrian not winning was unthinkable, but it was helped by the fact that Adrian was Adrian doing Adrian with the song that Adrian and Nicholas Branca created, played magnificently by the festival band, supported brilliantly by the vocalist, and all the people he had on stage, and all the imaging used on the screen. So in the event that the points didn't show that, they might have to dig up the botanical gardens and turn it into a cricket pitch or something, because that was unthinkable. But the reality is that the previous year, the majority of people felt, except the majority of the judges. So that's life, you know.
But I think that's how the people felt. That's why they said you were the people's king last time. What did you think of Kidside's performance?
I thought he was excellent. He thought he was excellent. Me and Kidsight go back to 1985 when my cousin Andy and we were the first live performers at the National Youth Concert at the Farley Hill National Park on July, I think it was July 19th, 7 p.m. a Friday, started at 7 o'clock. Kidsight won the dancehall competition, and me and my cousin, we were the only contenders ultimately for the rap competition. So we've been friends since 1985. We performed together, we've judged competitions together. I've been in the finals in 2005 when he won, 2006 when he won, and I've been at numerous finals with him when he's done well, and other finals when he hasn't done well and I haven't done well. And I think that was vintage Kidsight. What he did, he extended some of the verses to include the pecan lines that he was scoring heavily with the audience in the C.O. Williams House of Soca. And remember, Kidsight was a finalist with the Carter Shining Stars in 2024. So Kidsight was excellent. I think Ian's voice wasn't in good shape, but his performance was brilliant. But you know, his voice was affected. I think Blood Song was a revisit, albeit a new song written by Billboard, I believe, with the sentiment. And you'll get that if you're doing a patriotic song. 60 years of independence, 5 years of republicanism. Bag Had Bim, I Love You from the album Red and Flourishing in 1984. And we had Nah Leaving, I Ain't Leaving. But Quan was superb. And I think, you know, if he was third behind Kidsight or fourth behind Ian Webster at the very least, I think that would have been a fair position. I could have flipped.
What place it Quan?
He came fifth. And you know, he won the Piggly Crop in 2022 straight out of 2 victories in Junior Monarch. And then when he defended, he didn't defend with the Water Street Boys song. It was a brand new song. And I think he came third with that song. That was in 2023 when Ian won with Brain and Adrian had a Nancy. And then in 2024, he had a song called Mathematical Quandary. I got to the judging of C.O. Williams House of Soca at the gymnasium. I maybe missed 1 or 2, but I saw him, and he was one of the best in House of Soca that year. And he didn't make it. And I think that the temp manager, Sharon Carew White, she followed the process. I think he right into the arbiter. And I felt that he was given a hard time. And look, all of us in this business who've been into the finals on more than one occasion have had years where you've been superb, and you don't get in ahead of your 10 members who weren't as good as you. But then they might feel the same way with years that they've had a hard time. I think Francois, Julie, Lady J, they had a hard time in 2024 for sure. Queen T had a hard time last year, and she made it this year. So every tent can tell you that. Every tent. If you look at House of Soca this year, you could point to Popsicle, Tariq. I think Kira did well. She's the first person to get the encore. Ultimately, she got into a song. But the 5 that went from there, those are the 5 that I had. And then you had, if you look at the big show, classic song was different. It was more of a reflective, retrospective song. It's not the classic where you drop kick anybody lyrically, but it was a good calypso. And then TC, you know, Tay, her student, if you want to call her that, edged her out ultimately in getting into this year's finals. Marve has some very good songs that the judges don't seem to favor from a pickety crop perspective at all. Pushing the Through was one, and then he had one this year as well, which was similar. So every tank can have people that, you know, were on the cusp. But Quan is a very formidable competitor. And I thought his presentation and delivery, look, people, here's what I don't like. They did this to Romeo for many years. Now, it was insulting. You know, Romeo does talk, Quan does talk, look, Kate Side does talk. The rendition in Barbados, this is the problem. Admiral apparently said I can't sing in comparison to the others, but my type of rendition is not Adrian Clark's type of rendition, or Blood's rendition, or Cerule, who has a fantastic voice. The type of songs I sing don't call for that. They don't call for that. As a rapper of many years, decades, and a lyricist primarily, and I work with people like Andy Williams who give me good melody. So my delivery is different, but the problem with me, it's not how I sing, it's what I sing, why I sing it, and who I sing about it. And anybody who doesn't think that's the case, they clearly are not from Barbados. And they are not being fair, right?
Yeah.
They're not being fair. Simple as that.
But I mean, Plastic Bag, I mean, I love Plastic Bag, but he doesn't sing. He's not a great singer.
But he renders well, and he's one of my influences. The biggest influence I have is the Mighty Gabby, from a local perspective. In terms of songcraft, Bag is certainly there. And all the others I've had the privilege to meet, greet, and compete with, I take something from all of them. Trinidad, it's pretty clear. You say people like Chalk Dust, people like Gypsy, people like Sugar Aloes, people like Crow, Watchman, Pink Panther. So you could look at Calypsonians here and see where their influences come from. To look, Adrian utilized Shadow, Stalin, Karoo to get the point across. And I don't think that was to his detriment. Very few people can do what he did and do it as well as he did. And because he did it as well as he did, it worked. It's not going to work for everybody. It's not going to work for everybody. So it's how you choose to deliver, render. I will simply say that my performance did not merit 17th on finals night. I think that's the consensus. Some people will be glad. You know, there were 2 people that had a good laugh backstage after coming from the presentation, but I've got at least one of them in my song for next year, and I'll remind them of when they were laughing at me. So I hope they'll laugh when they're included. I've got a song called Sell Your Soul to the Devil, and I've got another one called Kaiso Kaiso. So those are 2 songs that are finished already in terms of being written, structured, and I can always pay principally Andy Williams and others a chance, a visit, God willing, in time. And then I have a song called I Don't Give a Damn, which is a 160 BPM based on Proverbs, on Isaiah 54:17, which when we were planning to release it, the national hero died. And I said, no, we can't release that. Even though it's clear what we're singing about, how we're singing about it, We don't want to throw any. We don't want to throw. We don't want to throw any confusion in the air at all. Let's wait till crop over finishes. You've got New York, you've got London, you've got Miami, you've got Ibiza, you've got Trinidad and Tobago and the other territories getting ready to start. I've got a song called Success. I got Kill Them, which is produced by Polly Dan, which will finish for next year, God willing. And I say that because I've lost John Deasy, I've lost Alvin, I've lost King Scorpion, lost David Hunt here recently, Mark Lord, condolences to their families, Maurice Norville, and Invader number 3. And that's between one crop over and the next. So you don't take anything for granted. And you don't want to be the subject of reflection on people's Facebook pages and Instagrams and TikTok, and using the AI where they go through your life from when you were born and you move from one chapter holding a microphone, holding your school certificate, etc.
Well, Ronnie, I tell you, we believe it or not, it's 4 minutes to 10. So we have 4 minutes. So in our last four minutes, I just, for those who were asking what has happened to the announcer, what has happened since the march. As he told you, there was an appeal and that they had a conciliatory meeting. This is with the tribunal, at the tribunal level.
Yeah, in Warren's, yeah.
Yes, and he's waiting, right? So he's waiting.
Well, it's clear. Let me put it this way.
Yes, in 3 minutes.
If common sense prevailed and the settlement, and look, I've got distinguished lawyers, human resource heads and officials that are very clear in their support for me with everything that has been presented. And then, trust me, there's nothing presented that can dispute what has been presented coming from them. If common sense prevailed and negotiation was sensible, I wouldn't have any issues, right?
Right.
In terms of fallout financially, I'll be able to move forward and take care of the things that need to be taken care of and move on. But, God is good. God is patient. God is able, exceedingly abundantly above and beyond. God is sovereign. And
Amen.
God is able to make a situation come to a resolution quicker than I can. And I have to put it in his hands. And for all the support, yourself, Dave, Julie, the Praise Academy dancers, Darren Holder, all those people that work with me, Pat and the team, Henrietta, and Passion in terms of the outfit, because people say, man, you look great. Yeah, you look great, but you're still 17th, huh?
Yeah. Well, you know what? As you know your material, you know who you are, and you know what it is. It's about who is singing the song and what they're singing.
But Marcia, because certain public figures were made to be the subject of attention and scrutiny, it's something only I did. Nobody else did it, and it's gotten to the point they say, forget the announcer. He's not singing anything that's going to be successful, but he's dealing with the issue that we don't have to deal with now. Let's move on and let's take advantage. That's just the way it is.
Yeah, and the good thing about this is that song has produced, so many changes in a crop over, which we didn't get a chance to talk about. We can't do it now because the time is gone. But Cohabla Pot, a lot of the things that you spoke about got fixed, and so in that sense, you're being successful, and we thank you for being a voice. We thank you for standing up on behalf of the other Californians, which is why they ask you to speak to the media. That's it right there. That's your crown right there. Amen. Thank you so much, the People's King. Thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Thank you.
God bless you.
God bless you too.
Yes. Well, there you have it, guys. We got an update. We wanted to do it, throughout the season, but as the announcer told you, with with Sir Gary and so on, we kind of held off, but we knew we had to do this. So I'm so glad he was able to join us. So people want to know how he's doing, what's happening. You can see he's in great spirits, and continue to pray for him. Continue to wish him well. You see him, give him a hug. I'm telling you to give him a hug and continue to encourage him. Okay. So God bless you. Thank you to Khalijah Kellman, Khaleesi, who joined us early in the program, and thank you to Cherie as well, who joined us, and John King by way of Mike on the Move, and of course the announcer. Thank you so much, Dave, and to everybody who's worked to make this show possible. God bless you, and we see you again on Friday. Have a wonderful night. God bless.
Botanical! Are you ready? The king is here. I don't hold any grudges for them Kaiser's judges who refused to crown me last year at the Botanical Gardens in front of thousands of patrons who paid to see the announcer appear. The Pickety Crop competition, performance, presentation, National Carol Festival, it went clear. When the show was done, people had me at #1, but the result was an insult, and all I hear, the people's king, you are the people's king. Blood win the trophy, but you are the people's king. You had the gardens rocking, even before you sing. The judges showed you no mercy, but you are the people's king. The people's king, like observer since 1991. Can't attack, schoolgirl right, independent woman. Keep on pushing, damage shuffle, last general election. Firepower patriot, sing a song, I don't want the crowd. Never win the monarchy with all them songs that he sing. Like the late, great Colin Reed, you are the people's king. The announcer, observant. The announcer, brilliant. The announcer, a grant. The people's king, 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 king. The people's king. Henrietta style and fashion, flowing gown by passion, makeup and nails by faith, the urban girl. Drawing 6th position, Julie and I made a decision. No shoot, we had to shock the world. Oh, what a transformation, dramatic interpretation. Admiral in a wig, the master plan. And people who say they know me, say I look like my daughter Naomi. I'm much better looking than Carol as a woman. The people's king, you are the people's king. Blood win the trophy, but you are the people's king. You have the gardens rocking, even before you sing. The judges showed you no mercy, but you are the people's king. The people's king, like Johnny my boy, 1988. Rita became queen singing what he composed and creates. Woman, respect yourself, mash up the mother country. He sang about Calypsonians who were singing for free. Like Jamal sing about Ronnie, but inside the lane Ronnie was driving. No lane was driving inside Ronnie. You are the people's king, the announcer. Marvelous, the announcer. Fabulous, the announcer. Dangerous, the people's king. King, king, king. Call the police, report a crime, a missing crown. They have to find 100 grand and SUV disappear. Right in front of a massive crowd, Stoops in hard, cussing loud. Carol, That can't happen this year. No tears, no tissues. I always deal with the issues. They can't stop me with their demonic intent. Corridors of darkness, wickedness in high places, blocking content to try and keep me silent. Devils only crop over scene, villains culturally green, and they fire my friend, the program manager. But you don't need espionage to see through the camouflage. The announcer and Ronnie Clark get sabotage. The people's gate, you are the people's gate. Blood with the trophy, but you are the people's gate. You had the guardians rocking, even before you sing. The judges show you no mercy, but you are the people's gate. The people's gate, like Redford's Don Donald, aka King Dial. Jaja of a Pogo who visits me in African style. Reverend Dr. Martin Luther, civil rights advocate. Hele football, alley boxing, Soca building cricket. Greatest in their discipline, more than 90 times they win. Like Mia Motley is the queen bee. You are the people's king, the people's king. 2026, judges get it right. Carol is my friend now, so they can beat me tonight. It's the TNT, can't win the guy so proud. Talk about Slocum, let me tell you what went down. I was in the Soul Service station and I saw Jamal walking. He said, announcer, buy me a bulldog too, cause you are the people's king. The announcer, first class, they can't surpass. Kicking ass, the people's king. Hey, hey, hey. Botanica, I love you. The announcer, fire.